Morning students, today we'll learn regarding the concept of packages under the module 4, packages, interfaces and multi-threaded program. So over here, let us see the concept of package. Now what do you mean by package is nothing but you're grouping related classes in one particular folder or one particular package. It may be a related classes or it may be also a related interfaces into a single unit. Now for what we are going to do is, for example, this is one folder, okay? So this is a package, you assume. Within this package, all the related classes will be stored. So you already know the Java API packages which you already might have learned. That is, for example, the Java. For example, if you had seen java.lang is Java IO, Java IO. So IO. So what it would do actually, so this lang will actually is nothing but a support for the language support classes. So if you just try to import java.lang, or if you just try to import java.io, what would happen? The input output, this is to separate the input output support classes. So these will be imported, these will be provided for your program. So this is the use of packages. So what it will do actually, what is the job of package? It is actually a group of related classes or interfaces in a single unit, okay, in a single unit. This is similar to your class libraries of other programming language, if you come to know. And one more way what we achieve in this is reusability of your Java program. For example, within a package you write many number of classes, okay, and if you import that package itself in other packages or in other classes, what will happen? No need to write those code again. You can just reuse the code by just importing those packages. So this is regarding the concept of package. So if you omit the package statement, for example, if you don't, in a Java class, if you don't create a package, then it will be stored, it will be given a default name as a default package which has no name. Okay, for example, if you don't write, when you write a Java program, if you don't create a package for that particular program, then what will be done is it will be given into a default package which doesn't have any name. In general, the package syntax is, how to create a package syntax is package and the name of the package. Package and the name of the package. Here, package is the syntax. I mean, you're going to write a package and then you're going to specify the name. Your pkg is the name of the package. For example, the following statements creates a package called my package. When you write package my package, it would create the package called my package. So this is regarding what is the syntax to create a package, and in case if you don't create a package, how it will be stored? It will be stored in a default package which will not have any name. For example, where you will be using such thing is for like a simple programs. If you run, there is no requirement of any package to be used, so that will be actually stored in the default package if you don't specify the package. Whereas real time, if you want to build a big application and all, it's better you specify the package so that within the package itself you define all the classes. So for example, other than this, I can tell you regarding the example of java.sql. What will happen? You know, all the SQL queries will be stored in that particular package called java.sql, and wherever you want to import that queries, you just need to write import java.sql. In case if you want all those files, you need to mention .star. That means it will import everything that is there within the java.sql. In case if you want to specify a file name itself, then you can just mention, for example, java.sql.insert table, something like that. You can specify that. So that is regarding the concept of package, and this is how you are going to create the package space my package, and this my package is my name of the package. So more than one, defining a package, you can also specify more than one file can include the same package statement. That means what? The package, now here same package 1 separated by dot, package 2, package 3. Now what is happening here? This is the major package. This is an example, okay? Package java.awt.color. Now what is happening over here is Java is the main package, okay? It is a main package. package 1, this is package 2, and this is the package 3. So this is the package containing AWT packages. This is the package which contains AWT packages, and this is the AWT package which contains this color. Color is nothing but a class which containing the methods. So this color is one of the method under AWT. Okay, so this is the package which contains AWT package, and this is the package which contains the classes, and this is the class which is actually hold classes. So this is actually holding the methods, classes containing the methods. For example, if I tell color is one of the method of the AWT. Okay, color is one of the method of the AWT. So Java is considered as a one main package which consists sub package as AWT, that is containing the classes, and again within this, if you call one more, this is also a package which holds the method. So color is one of the method of this particular entire package. So that is separated by the dot operator. So that is separated by the dot operator. So here AWT, if you remember, it is also a Java API package. So it is nothing but a set of classes which is implemented for the graphical user interface. Okay, and they include like methods like the color or else image or else font. All these methods have been defined under this. So in case if you just want to create this particular package, then you're writing package java.awt.color, and in case if you want to import this package to some other classes which you are going to define, then you're just using import java.awt.color. So this is how you're going to create an hierarchy of the packages. So this is regarding the how you're going to define the package and how you're going to create the hierarchy of the packages. Next concept is finding packages and the class path. Okay, finding packages and the class path. Now by default, if you run up a Java program, what it will do is it will select the current system directory which is working. Okay, by default it will work with the current working directory where as a starting point. That means you're going to set that will be the path for the package what you have been created. That will be the path for the package which you have been created. If not, you can specify the directory path. You can specify the directory path, or else you can path by setting the class path environmental variable. Class path environmental variable. Now for example, if I created the package my pack, path to my pack is, for example, if I check for this path, now when I'll show you this when I run in the NetBeans, path to my pack is C my programs Java my pack. Okay, so this is my path, but actually the class path is only till here. You're not going to include the package name. The class path is C colon my programs Java. That's it. This is the class path. The path to my pack is entirely, but the class path is this. So this you can set to your package. You can set to your package. And third is you can set in the command prompt using JVM command, Java Virtual Machine command. In the command prompt, if you want to set, then it is just hyphen class path, Java -c class path, whatever the path you want to set, that is going to be set in this particular in the command prompt. That is, you're going to run Java -class path, whatever the path you want to set, you're going to set in the program. There also you're not going to include the my pack name, you're just going to set the path whatever you're going to set. So these are the three ways. Default the class path for the package will be given by your current working system itself, but if you want to override it, okay, if you want to override it, so default what I told, class path is your current directory itself, but you can either set the class path or you can also use, that means you can set this class path, or you can also use -class option to override the default method, So this is regarding how we are going to do the packages, finding packages and the class path. So let me just show you the simple example program for this. Let me show you the execution of this program over here. So what is happening is I have created a package hello. So you already know how to create a package hello project. After that, you know that source packages will be created. By default package will be created, and its package hello, whatever package hello, this is the class which will be created. Now what I did is I clicked on source package new, and then I went to new, then other, I clicked on other, then Java, and then I clicked on Java package, and then I gave finish. Okay, so when I gave that, what I gave the name is next. When I need to click next, I gave already a new package and I created that particular package. So I'll just cancel. So within this new package, I clicked right. Now package has been created. I clicked on the right. I created a Java class. that class name I've given as welcome.java. Within that I've written this particular program. So when I run, I got it as good morning. So this is how you can create your Java packages. So when you build a new project, when you build a file new project, it will be like Java application, and then you're going to give some name. For example, I'll give welcome project, welcome. Within this I'll give finish, and then when you give the once you finish this particular project, what is the project we have created? Welcome. So let me go to that welcome itself. Yeah, so you check over here, it's having just source packages, and then you have welcome, within that welcome.java. So this is the welcome.java. Now for this source packages, right click, and then you click on you can create here also Java package. If not, you can go for the other option also. You can create here also Java directly. You can set the name, new package, finish. And within this new package, for this again, if you want to add some class, you can just give Java class, give some name. I'll give hi, some valid name you give, and then you print some content within this program. Something you just print and run it. So this is how you're going to create a package. And again, within this package you can also create a new package. Again, one more package. Okay, I'll give see here, new package dot new package. So I'll give this is just a one. I'll give one, and within this again I'll create one class file. So for example, let me Sarita. Okay, so this is the class. So what I did is, you can see here, package new package dot new package one, and then that class is being created. So this is how you're going to create the packages. So as I told regarding setting the class path, right, by default you can set the class path. If not, default it will take the class path. If not, either you can set the class path, or you can give the hyphen class path option, so which will override the default. So let me just go back over here. So I'll show you, for example, here itself, welcome was my class. So when I created a new Java class, it would give me this path. So what I'll do is I'll go in the background, I'll show you what is happening over here. So here again, see here, just see in the NetBeans documents, NetBeans Pro welcome. So here something else I have stored and kept it. So I'll just go back, no, I'll go back. It came to NetBeans project. It came to NetBeans projects. In this I'll search for the welcome. So when I search for the welcome, you have again source. In this source you can see this is the package which I created, new package. Inside this again I created one more package. Inside this I created the Sarita.java. So within this package I created just outer package I created hi.java. Again I created a new package. Within that I created Sarita.java. So this, whatever this is there now, this is the path. This is the path, as I told. This is the path. So this is the path which will be set over there. So this is regarding the simple example to understand what is a package, how we are going to create an hierarchy of a package, and how the class path is being set. How the class. So as I told, by default current working is being taken as a class path. If not, you can set the class path. If not, Java Virtual Machine can use the -c class path option to set the path. So this is regarding basic how you're going to define the package, how you're going to create the package, and what is happening, how you're going to create the hierarchy of package, and how you're going to set the paths. So what is the advantage of these packages? Actually, for example, just imagine that you have a date method that is being defined under the SQL also, and it is also for example, let us assume that is also defined under the one more package called util. Okay, so what is happening, java.sql.date is there, java.util.date is there. So over there both are having date functions, so that naming conflicts can be resolved by using this packages. Naming conflicts can be resolved using the packages. One more advantage I can also tell regarding hiding. One more thing is they allow to hide the classes. If you mention the package, they allow to hide the classes, and the classes contained in the package can be easily secured. Whatever the classes is contained inside the package, they can be easily secured. So this is regarding the package concept. So let us see an example of package which is mentioned. So here first I'll explain you this. What is happening is, package my pack. Okay, package my pack, that is what I've defined. Under that I've declared a public class balance. Okay, public class balance. Within that, two variables, string name and double balance. So the default access specifier has been specified over here, default. Okay, so that means it is public throughout the one particular package. So string name double val, then have called the constructor which will take the two parameters, string and the double, and that n is being stored in name and balance is b is being stored in the balance. So in this program you have one class balance, within that two parameters, name and the balance, and for balance parameter is string n and double n. For the name you're storing one n value, and balance again you're storing in the b, or whatever the value you send for the balance, that will be stored in the balance, name and balance. Then I have void show function of this. If balance is less than 0, it will print this single statement. It will print only this single statement. Okay, system out dot, just an arrow. If balance is not less than 0, then for example if it balance is less than 0, it will print this, and then it will continue with the flow of this particular statement. If it is false, if this statement is false, directly it will go to this particular statement and it will print. So this is regarding the void show function. If balance is less than 0, it would print this, and then it would go with this flow. If balance is not less than 0, it will not execute this particular line, it will go over here. So one is the constructor, I'm going to use balance. Okay, and in that constructor I'm going to store the name and the balance, and then void show function, if balance is less than 0, or if not, what will be the state. Okay, so here in the class account balance I have written the main function. Now what is happening over here is the class name is balance, our previous class name is balance. Okay, so that class name I'm going to create an object current, so which means that the object of the object for the balance is being created. So with the array size of 3, that means 0 1 2. So this is an object with the class name balance is been created with the array size 3. So for that 3, there is current of 0, current of 1, current of 2. I'm passing these values, that is new, balance, with the name as well as the rupees, whatever the amount balance I mentioned. So new with the constructor balance, I'm going to pass new, and then I'm going to call the balance constructor, So what is happening over here, current of 0 is storing the value of whatever the balance constructor, the parameter is being passed. So it will go to this particular function balance, it will call whatever the name is there, KJ, Fielding and 1 to 123.23, that will be stored over here. The name and the balance will be stored over here. Same way for current 1, current 2, it will store. And for int I is equal to 0, I less than 3. Now this is having the values, these two fields, name as well as the balance, name as well as the balance will be holding in this particular array. Now when I tell for int I is equal to 0, 0 less than 3, it is true, I'm calling current 0 dot show. When I call current 0 dot show, it will go to this particular function, it will go to this particular void show function. If balance is less than 0, no, our first value, if you see, it is 123, it is not less than 0, so it would come directly to this particular and print the value what was there in name and the balance with concatenation of this dollar and this colon symbol. That means name will be printed like KJ Fielding colon dollar 123 point something. So same way for next I is equal to 1 iteration, again it will call the show. So again this balance is greater than 0, so it will print will tell colon dollar 157, and next again for the next iteration I, it is minus, so it is less than 0. If it is less than 0, this arrow will be printed, and then with this particular, this arrow will be printed, and then it will print regarding the name and the value of the balance. So this is regarding the example of the packages. Package example is nothing but I'm going within my project folder, I'm going to create a package. Within that package I'm going to create these classes. Okay, this is the main class, and then again within that main class I created a constructor and show function, and then the void main function. Let us see the execution in the NetBeans. So let us run the program. So that is, I have created a balance project. So in the balance project I have created, in the source package I have created using the new package naming my pack. Within that I created a class called balance.java. So this is the class. So you can see here package my pack, package mypack, and then class balance, as I told, string name, double balance. So this is actually defined under the your pack. This is actually defined within the mypack package. Okay, so balance.java is defined under the mypack package, which is again defined under the project balance. So here balance.java class is what I've explained now. Same, you have the name and the balance, and within the balance you have string n and double that will be stored in this value. So whatever the name you give, that will be stored in the name, whatever the balance you give, that will be stored, and if balance is less than 0, this will be printed, and then continue with the print of this. If not, only this will be printed. So then I told how you're going to create a main class account balance main function. So there I created an array of size 3, and then using when I've created using the new, that means when the object is created for current 0112, I called with the new balance, and I passed the parameter name and the balance amount over there. So when I do this, I've sent a for loop for that, current i.show. So for 0.show, it would go for this if balance is less than 0. So your balance was 123, it was not, so it would print this. Even for this it would print this, and for the last one it would print these two statements. So just I'll run this particular program. So you can see here KJ fielding will be printed directly, will tell will be printed, but for this I have given one arrow because the amount is less than 0. So this is regarding the example of the package, but while running over here I don't need to give any command, right? But actually when you're running through the command prompt, usually when we run the class, how will we run? Like java balance dot just the name of this particular file, java balance. But here how we are supposed to run in the command prompt is java mypack, whatever your package name is there, right? Mypack, that is this mypack dot balance, the name of this file, java space mypack dot balance. So this is how you're going to compile. Okay, this is how you're going to compile. So to compile, make sure that the resulting class file, whatever is there, is also in the mypack directory, right? So java mypack dot balance. So this is how you're going to compile. So if not in our normal Java programs, we just used to use to compile Java account balance. So here we are going to include the my package, same way, but the only process is mypack dot whatever the class name you're going to run. So this is regarding the example program of the package. Next concept is regarding the access protection. So you have already seen the access protection in the concept of the classes. Same way the access protection for the packages. So what is happening over here is the packages act as a containers for the class. So packages act as a containers for the class, whereas class act as a containers for the methods, that is data and the code. Okay, so here for the classes in Java is nothing but it is the smallest unit of abstraction where actually the implementation is being hidden. Okay, so because of the interplay between the classes and the packages, because of the play between the packages and the classes, what I told, package is nothing but stores the classes, class is nothing but it stores the methods and the code and the methods. Okay, that is code and the data it stores actually. So because of the play between these classes and the packages, Java addresses 4 categories of the visibilities for the class members. So these are the 4. Okay, Java addresses 4 categories of visibility of class member. So one is regarding subclasses in same package. Okay, one is regarding the subclasses in the same package. Next is regarding non-subclass in the same package. Next is regarding subclass in the different package. Next is regarding non-subclass in the different package. So what is a subclass? What is a subclass and a superclass? So the concept comes of subclass is something which inherits the property from the superclass. The meaning of subclass is nothing but the child who inherits the properties of the parents. So whatever that parents act as a superclass, and the child which inherits the properties from the existing parents, that is nothing but the subclass. So that is regarding the concept of subclass. And regarding the same package and the different package, within the package if you have a subclass, within the package if you have subclass, what will happen? And if it is in a different package, subclass is there, what will happen? And in the different package, non-subclass is there, what is happening? So these are nothing but these are the main 4 categories of visibilities for the class members. And what are the access specifiers they are using? So you already know what are the access specifiers we have, that is private, protected and public. In addition, if you don't specify anything, then it will take no modifier, that is a default, or it is also told as a friendly. Okay, so you know what is the meaning of private. If you mention it as a private, then it cannot be seen outside of its class. If you mention if it as a private, then it cannot be seen outside of class. If you don't mention anything, that means if you don't mention anything, either private, public or protected, then what would happen? If you don't mention anything, then it will take its visibility to all the classes, I mean subclasses, as well as to the other classes in the same package. It will allow you to access all the subclasses and all the non-subclasses to access the data members, but only constraint is it is in the same package. Okay, that is regarding the default. What about the protected? Protected is nothing but if you want to, for example, I have a super class. Okay, I have a super class. It is actually between the public and the default. It is actually between the public and the default. So what it allows you is, if you want to allow an element to seen outside your current package, okay, if it is in the same package, then we actually the concept is default. Okay, if you want to allow someone outside the package to view, if you want to allow an element to be seen outside your current package but only to the classes of the subclass, then you can use the protected concept. That means in one package is over here, okay, one package is over here and one more package is, this is the one more package. Now for example, here you define the class A and class B. Okay, class A and class B. Now here there is a subclass of A. Okay, that for example C is a subclass. C is a subclass of A. C is a subclass of A. Then it can allow the, it will allow the member to access the data members of the A. Okay, if it is also in the separate package, if it is a subclass in another package of subclass of in another package which inherits the properties of superclass A in one more package, then you can allow if you're using the concept of protected. But you know, regarding the public, that means it allows, it can be accessed from anywhere. So these are the basic concepts. So private means it will allow only within the class, and no modifier means default, it will allow only within the package. Protected means it will allow in the other package, provided it is having a subclass of the, it is having the subclass which is inheriting the properties of the one more package, then only it will allow to access those data. Public means anywhere you can allow. So same thing is been tabulated in this same thing is been tabulated over here. So here for example the members are private in the same class, the members are private, then it is been accessible for, if you mention it is within the same class, if you mention the data members are private within the same class, no issue. Within the same class there is no issue, it will work. Whereas if you mention default, within the same class, no issue, it will work. And if you mention protected, even that will work within the same class, within one particular class within one particular, for example class A you imagine, and within this if you mention some data number as private, whatever the methods is there that can use this particular data, for example private something you mention, okay, private something you mention, private int A, that can be used by whatever the methods you mention with, if it is in the same class. If you don't mention private and int A is there and no default, any you can use it within the same class, you can use this data member within the same class. Even if you mention protected, you can use it within the same class. Even if you mention public, you can use it within the same class. So if you mention anything private, default, protected or public, then no issue, you can use within the same class. So that is regarding the concept when it is in the same class. Okay, next is same package subclass. Now what do you mean by same package subclass? You have one package, okay, one package, for example pack1. So you have one package, let it be pack, name of the package is pack, same package subclass. So what is happening, there are, for example you imagine there is one A class, okay, and this is the super class and this is the B class which inherits, subclass is the this, okay, this is SBL, right? SB, that is subclass, and A is nothing but the superclass. Now what is happening, same package, one package, within that you have subclass. So one package, within that if you have the subclass, what will happen? If the data member of this is private, now for example this is superclass, class A, its data member is private, whether it will allow you to access in the subclass? No. So it is not possible. If the data member is private within your superclass, if your data member is private within the superclass, then it is not accessible to the child class, that is subclass. It is not accessible to access in the child class. So private it will not allow. If you mention default, that means you don't mention any access specifier, then obviously it will allow, child class will allow, it is allowed to access the data member of the superclass. If you mention protected also, it will allow you to mention the data member of the superclass, and even if you mention public also, it will allow you to mention the data member of the superclass. Only issue is, if you mention private within the superclass, then child class cannot access that private data member. Why? Because only within the class you can access. That means only superclass can do the manipulation, can use those private data members. Only the superclass within the class itself, as I told, same class itself only works. So that is regarding same package subclass. Now same package non-subclass, what would happen? Same package non-subclass. Non-subclass means which is a different function, which is not inheriting any properties. For example, let it be A is a superclass, A is a one class, and B is a subclass, and C is a non-subclass. That means which is not inheriting properties of anything from A. Imagine this is B is a subclass which is inheriting from A. C is just a class. Okay, it is a non-subclass. That means which is not a child of A. So what is happening? Package is same. So over there also, if you mention here the private, it will not allow for the child itself. Then it will not allow for the subclass also. So access specifier will not, it will not allow you to access the data members of A. So it is no. Whereas if you don't mention any modifier, default, then it will allow you. And if you mention protected also, it will allow. And if you mention public also, it will allow. Okay, so this is the concept when it is in same package subclass and same package non-subclass. So these all things I'll show you within the example program. Next is regarding the different package subclass. Different package. Now for example, imagine P1 is one package, P2 is one more package. Okay, P1 is one package, P2 is one more package. So if you mention within this P1, okay, over here you mention something to be private, different package subclass. Okay, so for example here class A is there, that is the parent class, superclass. In package 2 you define class B, which is the subclass of A. That means which is the child which inherits the property from A. But what is happening over here, when it inherits the property from A, the private data members are not allowed. If you mention private data member over here, then it will not allow you to access those members in the package 2 subclass. So this will fail. As well as if you mention this as default, for example package 1, default class A, that is a superclass, and package 2 you defined a subclass, what will happen? It will not allow you to access the data members of class A. Why? Because package, if you remember the concept of default, it will allow you to access the data member within the same package, but it will not allow you to access the data member if it is a different package. So this concept fails. Protected works. Why protected works? Because it is of a subclass. Now B is a subclass which extends A, that means which inherits the property of A, which inherits, for example, if you mention this as protected, okay, for example if you mention the data members of class A as protected, so what would happen? It will allow you to inherit the properties of A. Okay, if you mention inherit the properties of A within that particular restriction. Now for example, if it was non-subclass, it wouldn't. Since it is a subclass of A and you mention protected as a access specifier, then it will allow you to fetch the data member even if it is in the different package. Only condition is it should be a subclass of the package 1 class. So that is holding, so it will allow. Public by default it will work. Different package non-subclass. Now this is the concept. C is a non-subclass. Okay, A is one parent, and this was in the package 2, this was the subclass. This is a non subclass. When this is non subclass, it will not allow you to it will not work. It will not allow you to access the private, as well as default will not work. That is, no modifier will not work. Even protected will not work. For protected to work, it should be a subclass of the package 1 class. It should be a subclass of the package 1 class. So even this protected will not work. Only public, if you specify, that will work. So this is regarding the different access specifier, how it works when you have these 4 constraints. So this you have to remember in case of the packages. Now for this we have a simple example of the access example. So let me explain the concept of the access example over here. Let us see the example. In this example we have 2 packages. Let us take the packages P1 and P2. Okay, these are the 2 packages. Within P1 I'm going to define 3 classes. Okay, so this access example is entirely for this particular table I'm going to show. So there are 2 packages. One is P1 and another one is P2. Within this P1 I have 3 classes, and within this P2 I have 3 classes. So this example has 2 packages and 5 classes. So within this I have 2. Within this I have 3 classes. So the source of the first package defines the class protection, derived, and same package. So this is the class's name: protection, derived, and same package. So protection is an example for the same class. Same class, that is, within the class, if you defined private, if you defined no modifier, if you define protected, if you define public also, whatever the content is, it is accessible. So that is regarding the protected. Same package subclass means derived class. This one, derived. So that means it is inheriting the feature of the protection class. Same, and this just same package means it is same package non subclass. So these 3 I have given the example in the P1 package. So let me see the example. So I'll just tell you, this is the protection.java file. This is the protection Java under the package 1. So package P1, public class protection. So here 4 data types I have defined with 4 access specifier. So int n equal to 1 means default. I have not specified anything. So n equal to, within the class, if you mention n equal to 1, int n equal, it is accessible to within the class, no issue at all. Int n is equal to 1. Then I mentioned private, then I mentioned protected, and then I mentioned public. All 4 access specifiers are mentioned. So n private, n pro, n public, n equal to 1. Then public protection I have called the constructor. Then I'm going to print. This is the class with these data members, and I'm going to call the constructor system.out.println base constructor. That is a super constructor, you remember. I mean super class. This is the content of the super class. I printed n equal to plus n. So n is this. Okay, this n is equal to plus n. So 1. I'm just telling, this will be 2, and this will be 3. And this will be 4. N dot private will be 2, and n dot pro will be true, and n by. For example, if I call this in the main, if I call this protection function in the main, then this will be the output. So just remember, here there are 4 parameters: int n, default it is, private, protected, public, and then I've printed all these 4 values, and I put one as base constructor. That's it. So let me come back over here. The first class defines 4 int variables. Same thing what I've defined over here. The variable n is declared as default, n private, protected, and public. Okay, so that is regarding the first class here. Now let us come to derived class. Derived is, it extends from the protection, inherits from the protection. Now within the inherit means what it will do, when you actually class derived extend protection means it will fetch all these datas, inherits all except the private, if you remember. Because private is allowed only within this class, whatever the private data, int n pri equal to 2, or this, it is allowed only within the, it is only allowed within the base class itself, whereas in the derived class it will not allow. So what I did in the derived constructor, I printed the derived values. So values can be fetched over there. If you remember the concept, values can be fetched of the, I mean, you can extends protection means it will access all these data members. It can access all these data members, even this method also, even this function also, except the private. So what is happening over here? System out.println n equal to plus n. So this is valid. Why? Because if you remember, default is been allowed over here. protected is also allowed, public is also allowed. So I have mentioned comment over here, private is not allowed. So in the derived class, what is happening, you can access the public data member, protected data member, as well as you can access the default data member, but you cannot access the private. So if you go back to this table, you can see here private it is not allowing, rest everything it will allow. So that is regarding the here rest everything it allows, but private it will not allow. So that is regarding in the derived Java. So you can see here the second class derived is a subclass of protection. Subclass of protection means child class of protection in the same package. This grants derived access to every variable in protection except for this. And same thing, third class same package means it is a non-subclass. This same package is there now, that is a non-subclass. That means which will not inherit any property from the protection or the derived. It's not a subclass of protection, but it is in the same package. So it acts access to all, but not for the private. So you see here, same package no means it doesn't have access for this, rest everything it acts. So let us see that same package. So in the same package I have called same package constructor. Within that I have called protection p new protection. That means it will protection p new protection means your protection function, this entire thing is being called. Okay, then it will print the same package constructor values, that is it will allow to fetch everything, but other than this private it will allow you to fetch all default, protected and public. And for this, within the same package itself I have defined a public void main, public static void main, which will call protection object 1 new protection. That means whatever the value of new protection will be printed. Derived object new derived constructor, and same package object 3 new same. So when it calls new protection it will go to this, and it will when you call new protection it will go to this and it will store all these values and it will print all these statements. When you call derived, again it will inherit the protection values as well as it will print these values. And then when you call same package, again it will print the protection values and these, except private everything will be printed. So let us see this running in this particular, let us run this in the code blocks. So here I have already kept open all these files, protections. You can see I have created an access protection project. Within that I created P1 package. Within this P1 package I created demo.java, which is the main, which stores the main, and protection is the base constructor. Derived is the inherited from this protection. Same package is a different class, but it is within the same package. So let us run. So you can see here, I'll just show you again brief of package 1 public class protection, all these values, and this is the thing. And then derived Java which will inherit the properties of the protection class, but it will not allow you to inherit the properties of the private data members. And then again same package Java, I called the protection over there, and then again it will if in case if I'll show you this, I'll remove this comment also. It will tell it's not able to access actually, then I'll print the content of this. Then in demo.java I've written the main and I've called. So I already run this program, so you can see over here I've already run this particular program. So I'll run it again. So yeah, I got it over here. So over here first it was calling new protection, protection object 1 new protection. So what is happening, base constructor. So if you see here, protection is called first. So you can see here base constructor n is 1 2 3 4 value is being printed. Next it will go to it will call derived. When it comes to derived, you know, since it extends the protection, so whatever is there in the base constructor again gets printed since it is derived, but it will not print the private over here, n equal to 1. If you remember, I'll remove this, you'll get to know what will be the error. So it will print only 1 3 4. Okay, then again I call sample package. Within this again I call new protection, so it will print again the base constructor values 1 2 3 4. Then again same package 1 3 4. Now for example, within the same package I'll remove this. Okay, I'll just remove this. It is actually showing an error. I'll just run it. You can see here what is the error it is showing. And anyway, I'll just show you what is the error. See, just a minute. It is showing an error over here as n private as private access in protection. That means it is telling that this as private access in protection. That means within this n private is private, so you cannot access it, you cannot access the data value over here. So this is regarding the 3 conditions of these. So I hope it's clear with this. Same class I showed in protection, same package subclass I showed in derived, same package non subclass I showed in same package. So now let us go to the package 2. Within the package 2 I told 2 classes are defined, that is one is protection 2 and other one is other package. One is protection 2 and other one is other package. So for this, what is the condition? If you see over here this table, different package subclass, it is P2, but the class is a subclass of this package. So protected is allowed, public is allowed, but no modifier is not allowed, because within the class you can use, if you don't mention anything within the class, you can use that data member. Outside within the package you can use, outside another package you cannot, it will not allow you to access if it is a default. Private, as you know, it is not, it is only within the class. Outside the package it will not allow at all. Here within the package it will allow, outside the package it will not allow. Here protected will allow, only thing is it should be a subclass, but it will not allow if it is not a subclass. So these 2 examples will show in the last 2, package 2. Okay, so here as I told, package 2, one is protection2.java, which will show you the example of subclass. So class protection 2 extends p1.protection. Protection p1, why p1.protection? Since package is there, so package dot operator class name protection. So protection 2 is called protection 2 extends, right? So protection, whatever the value is there, that will be printed. In addition to protection 2 is called derived other package constructor I have defined. Here you know private will not be allowing, even default also it will not allow, n it will not allow, even this, only these 2 statements will be allowed. That is regarding the protection2.java. Okay, why protected will be allowed? Why? Because this is a class which inherits the property, or inherits the property from the protection class of package 1. Okay, next is other package.java. Other package Java means it is a different function itself, different function which is not related to, which doesn't inherit the properties of package 1 at all. So package P2 class other package, other package construct. I'm just calling here p1.protection p is equal to new p1.protection, because I want to fetch the values of those, right? So I'm calling here package1.protection p is equal to new p1.protection. So whatever the values is there, that will be printed. Then I'm printing other package constructor. So you know here different package, so this will not get displayed, private member will not be displayed, even protected will not display, because it is not using the concept of inheritance, only the public value will be displayed. So this covers these last two points of access specifier over here, these 2 points. So this is very important concept regarding the access specifier. They might ask one single this one single program itself is enough. If you understand, you're going to tell regarding this. So let me run this particular program again. So that was package 2, right? So here in the protection2.java and other package.java and then demo.java. So here protection2.java, only these things are there. I mean same thing, same code, then other package, then demo.java. Demo.java I'm just calling protection2 and other package. So let me run this particular file. So you can see here base constructor, when I call new protection2, obviously in this protection2 I'm going to extend the p1 protection, so that will call the base constructor, extends p1 protection. So whatever is there in the base one, it will be called. Derived only these 2 will be printed. Why? These 2 I cannot get the values. Then again in the other package Java, I'm calling again the protection constructor. So base constructor will be printed and other package npub is equal to 4 will be printed. Here I'm calling, right, p1 dot, why I'm calling p1? Because it is in different package. So p1 dot protection p is equal to new p1 dot protection. So when I call this particular statement, these things will be executed. That means protection 1 constructor, whatever is there, that will be executed, and other package is this statement, and then only this will be printed. Why? These all will not be allowed, because one, this is the private member, means it is within the class, n private means within the class, default means within the same package, n protected means it is only if it is having a subclass. So this is regarding the access specifier. Next we'll see regarding the concept of importing package. So this is very easy. What is the advantage of importing packages? For example, what you do is, instead of writing lengthy codes, we can write in one particular package, and we can get those entire set of codes within this particular program where you write. So import statement is a convenience to the program and is not technically needed to write a complete Java program. So whatever is required, you can just import and put it over there, and you can continue writing the code. For example, some class you might have written somewhere in one package, and again no need to write that same class in one more package. You can just import that particular package. Now we had seen regarding the access, right, over there, how we are going to, I mean, we have not imported anything, but at least we have done that derived extents and all. Same way, one class you might have written in one particular package, and that same class should be accessed in some other package or some other program, then you can just use the keyword import. So this is the general term, import package 1. This is the optional if you have two packages. Package 1, class name, you can mention either the class name, or if not, you can just mention the star. So what is happening over here is import java.util.date. So if you mention this, specified date method will be called over here. Okay, if you just mention that, it will call the date method. If you mention star, whatever is within the IO, it will be called. Whatever is within the IO, whatever the methods is defined under the IO, it will be called. So that is here pkg import package. Here pkg1 is the name of the top level package, and pkg2 is the name of the subordinate package. That means a level down. So you should separate a dot between them, and then there is a no practical, you can have any depth. Okay, then you have the class name over there. Then you have the class name or a star. This is either a class name or a star. You can directly mention the class name. For example, here I can mention date as a class name. So here import java. This is package 1, main package. Within that util, next package level, and then I'm going to call the class name date. If not, I can call the multiple. I can also call util.star. So whatever is defined within the util, if there are many classes, all those classes will be called. So that is regarding the import java.util.date. And here if it is import java.io.star. Okay, so either it can have a class name or a star, which indicates that Java compiler should import the entire package. If you tell this, it should import the entire package. If you tell this, it is only with the import that particular class. Main thing is, if you mention this way, storage, I mean, it will be very fast. Okay, it's better if you know the class name, you call in this way itself. So that is regarding the importing packages concept. So in a Java source file, import statement occur immediately following the package name and before any class definitions. So this is the general form. So let us see the example of import package example. So here I'm going to create a package mypack1. Within that, within this package, I'm going to define same previous example what I've shown regarding the balance. So name and the balance fields were there. And here one difference, if you see, everywhere the constructor and void show, everything I defined it as public, so that anyone within the same package or outside the same package you can access this particular code. So everywhere I mentioned public. If you want, we'll see we'll get error or not. So here same code, in the name will be stored, in the balance will be stored, and if balance is less than 0, this will be printed, and then it will print this particular statement. Okay, and here this is a project. I've created a new project. Within that, I've created a main. So over there I've imported this package mypack1.start. That means all these things will be imported. Imported means nothing but which will be included in this particular program. Instead again writing this particular code, we can just use the import and we can get those codes. So public class balance1, within this I declared, and then balance test object I've created, and then I've called the new balance constructor new, and then to create an object I've called a new balance constructor with these two parameters. So obviously it would print, it will go to this balance function and it will store that those two names and the balance 99.88 and his name, whatever the name was there, Jasper, and then it would not, balance is not less than 0, so it would print name as well as the balance amount. So let us just see the output of this particular logic in this program. Same program, just thing is in it is in the different package. So this is the balance, this is the I'll show you. This is the balance project. Okay, within this balance, when I create the balance project, so you all you know that this balance one, when I create this balance one, Java will be created. Balance Java would be created. This would create with nothing, only this much. I've called your test.show, right? Only these things will be, this will be empty, only this will be created. So what is happening, it is actually outside the package. Agree, this function is outside the, this program is class is outside the package. So for this source I created a mypack1. Within that mypack1 I created balance.java. So same, that whatever the function is there, right? Public class balance, public constructor balance, and void show balance, all these things I have called away. I have created and kept, and this is in the within the package mypack1. Now for what is the agenda if I don't make it public? Okay, then it is within the same package it will allow. Okay, now for example I'll just remove this package and save. Okay, and now see, you can see here it is showing an error. Why? Because you know, outside the package, this is outside the package, this balance one is outside the package. If you're using within the package default also will work, but if it's outside the package default will not work. So public is mandatory. Okay, so now you can see that right symbol has gone, and now when I run this particular program, you can see here JJ Jasper I've sent with the balance 99.88. it will come and set this particular value over here, and then I've called show, right, test.show. So it will work for this system.out.print and name. This would get printed. So this is regarding how the concept of import works. This is regarding the how the concept of import works. So that's what I did. I created a project, then normal balance.java will be created. I created a pack. Within that pack I called this. Now this entire pack I imported over here. Since it is outside the pack, it's better you mention everything to be public. If you remove the public, obviously you will get the error. So this entire video, I mean this entire session was regarding the concept of packages, where we learned regarding how to declare the package, how to define a package, and what are packages, how to set the paths for the package. You can either default path will be set, if not class path, if not hyphen class path. Then I showed a simple example of same this balance. Then we learned regarding the access specifier. Then the concept was regarding the importing the package. Thank you.